Hey, what's up? It's Bri checking in.
And it's T.
So you got the Bri and T
on the beat. Yes, episode 2.
We're back for round 2, guys.
Ooh, we made it.
Dang, it's been a quick week, actually.
It's been a real girl. It's been a week.
Yeah.
It's been a week. How about that?
So, we're going to start off talking about the government shutdown once again.
Yeah.
Once again, because it's been, how long, T?
It's been over a month. This is the longest government shutdown that we've had. So, it's a disaster.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I feel so bad for, I can't even express how much I feel for these workers that are not getting paid. I'm so sorry. I would have found something else after a week, probably a couple of days, because I'm not about to be I'm not gonna lie, I'm not about to be at work slaving for y'all and you ain't giving me no money. Nah. Yeah,
man, it sucks, honestly. Like, you have real working class citizens right now standing outside of the food bank, and, it just doesn't make sense.
Yep.
It's sad, but we do, as long as this is going on, we're going to be talking about it because we have our $1,000 that we're giving away.
Yes.
And we really, really want you guys to take advantage of it. We want it to go to somebody who needs it during this time. So 16
chances to win $1,000.
Yep. Monday through Friday.
Listen to the keywords on 937 The Beat, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m.
9 p.m.
Okay, my bad. 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're giving away $1,000, 16 chances. Listen for your chance to win. We rooting for these government workers to get this money because we know y'all need it.
We sure are. So we're going to keep y'all into our prayers. We just wanted to let y'all know that before we get into these sizzling hot topics.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay, so we gonna start with Future.
Girl. It's been a lot going on with Future this week. Yeah. So it started off with the whole situation. Usually Future doesn't really speak on the whole situation with Sierra and Russell.
You know, it's crazy. I never hear him talk about what's going on in their personal life.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he must be fed up because
it has to be something serious for this man to be like, okay, F it. I'm going to social media. I'm going on air about what's going on because I'm sick of it. And the baby, how old is that little boy? Like 3, 4?
I don't know. That's a good question. Probably, around that age. He's definitely a couple years old. But, this has been going on for a while. Like you said, he doesn't usually speak. But he was asked about it in an interview, and that was just the day when he wanted to talk about it.
He was like, you know what? F it. I'm going in. I ain't tripping. So...
Yeah, so he kind of went in on Russell Wilson. As the week continued, we got to see... the situation was kind of brought up again because if we go back to Jay-Z's song, Kill Jay-Z, I'll go ahead and read some of the lyrics that was brought up. And really, in this same song, Jay-Z kind of went at Kanye because honestly, I never picked up on this until now.
I didn't either. You know what? Until you really brought it to my attention, and then I kind of put 2 and 2 together, I was like, dang. Honestly, it's mad disrespectful. But I'm going to let you go ahead and let our listeners know.
I feel y'all in. Okay, so basically what he said, never go Eric Benet, raps Jay-Z. I don't even know what you would have done in the future, other niggas playing football with your son. That was so smooth. I would have never caught it.
It really just went over my head until he said something about it, and I had to go back and listen like, damn.
Yeah.
First of all, it's mad disrespectful.
Yeah.
If that was me, I probably would have had to come in with some
you would have been throwing some hands, Bri.
I would have threw some hands for real because when it comes to the kids, that's when it get mad disrespectful.
Yeah, it does.
We don't talk about each other kids. We do not talk about it's certain things you just don't talk about. Kids and your parents.
Yeah.
You don't talk about, and wives and husbands. We don't talk about that.
Especially considering the fact that him and Jay-Z wasn't really, or as far as we know, they weren't beefing.
Exactly.
But in case y'all don't know, a while back, because this was last year, a video had surfaced of Russell Wilson playing football with Future's son.
No, I remember that.
So that's what it was.
I thought it was
for
cute.
The people that know.
Thought it was cute. I mean, how else would you want? Honestly, how else would you want your son to be treated?
That's a good point.
For real, how do you want that man to treat your child?
That's a good point, man.
You should, as her husband or as if I was in that situation, I want my husband to, even though if this is not your biological son, I want you to treat my kid like your own kid.
That's true.
And I would want my child's father to feel the same way.
Like in good hands.
Exactly. Like, I want you to be able to trust and be comfortable with the man I decided to live the rest of my life with.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think what it is because, like, when Future was asked about it in the previous interview,
right.
if you listen to what he said, it's like, because he was really ranting and a lot of that stuff didn't make sense. But if you listen,
he sound butthurt.
Yeah, he does.
Sound butthurt, really. That's what it really is.
Wait, it was one thing that he said, and it all kind of made sense to me. He said that you were already building this relationship with my son before he even had the chance to meet him. And I think that's what it all boils down to.
That he didn't get a chance. Because he said, after they got married, that's when Sierra basically was like, oh, okay, I love this man. Come meet him. And Future felt like, no, it's too late now. Like, y'all already did y'all dirt. But it's just like, at the end, first of all, at the end of the day, you cannot dictate how she lived her life. You were in that same situation and you messed it up.
Yeah.
Like, you cheated on her.
But I don't think it's about the relationship. It's about the kid.
I feel like it's about the respect. That's what it is. It comes down to the respect. And I feel like at the end of the day, on her end, she was hurt, so she moved on, and she moved on in the way that she felt like she needed, in a way that made her comfortable.
Yeah, in a way that made her comfortable.
In a way that made her comfortable. Yeah. So it's like, maybe she didn't want you to meet. Like, obviously she didn't. So it's not maybe. Like, she didn't want you to meet.
Like you said, we ain't got kids, but I think at the same time, I do see from what it looks like, from. They have a good relationship, but right. I do understand the respect factor. Right. Of, if you're going to be around my child, I need to meet you.
Right.
Not just, oh, we getting married now. At this point, I should meet you. It's like, if that's your child,
then you should know who's around your child. So I get it.
But he definitely sounds butthurt. Like you said,
it's okay, Future. We here for you. We here for you.
Are we?
Yeah, we here for you. We. Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, it's crazy. He usually holds back on this. So, I mean, he must be just kind of fed up. But, obviously, this relationship isn't going anywhere. As long as Sierra and Russell Wilson are going to be together, he's going to be in the child's life for quite some time. So, sometimes the first couple of years are rough. Maybe they'll get to a point where they've
been married for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
3 years. But, hey.
But the kid got to grow up at least to be, he going to be in the kid's life probably forever. So, they're going to have to come to some type of...
I mean, she has a child. It's not like they were married and then they don't have any extra ties. Like, they have a child. So, if... God forbid, but if they was to get a divorce, he's always going to be around.
Yeah, that's
basically.
Right. That's
so
true.
He's always going to be around.
That's true. Yeah, so hopefully, only time will tell. Some of these issues, it's like only time can really mend it, but it's like venting, like when we talked about last week, venting on social media. It's the same thing.
That's what he's doing. Hey, listen, he needs to get some stuff off his chest.
They need to go to family therapy.
Bottom line, we're going to take it back to this song. Jay-Z talking about Future in his song. I just felt like that was mad disrespectful. I don't know if they're friends or not, but just, being in the same industry as you could, it's easy for you to pick up a phone and be like, hey, I'm about to put this line out. Even though he said he didn't mean it like that.
Oh, Jay-Z did.
Yeah. Even though he's saying, like, I didn't mean it like that, but you even having enough respect to let him know that you didn't mean it like that, you could have picked up that phone and be like, hey, bro, I got a line. With you in it, let me let you hear it, and then let me see what's up.
Obviously, he wouldn't have been okay with that. Yeah,
but, yeah, exactly. So,
but I get it, because it's like, if you're gonna do it, own up to it. Don't be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. And I get it, because it was a good play on words. Like I said, I never even really caught on to that
until he said something.
Yeah, but it is kind of like, I understand what he's saying. Like, we both come from the streets. Like, we need to uplift each other and not go against each other.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I feel it. I get it. I get it.
Okay, well, moving on, we're going to talk about this Chris Brown situation.
Breezy. Yeah, he's, it's really not funny. I shouldn't be laughing,
It's not funny. You know what? Because I'm really sick of y'all. I'm going to just come out and say it. I'm really sick of y'all coming for Chris Brown. Period. Like, they've been, period. They've been coming for Chris Brown for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they always coming for Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let that man live.
Yeah.
He over here trying to live his best life, okay? Leave him alone.
Yeah, man, that is crazy because like Chris Brown became famous so young, and it's like now that situation, it's probably been like over a decade now since that whole situation happened
with him and Rihanna. But you know what? I feel like he always have that over his shoulder. So I feel like that kind of, honestly, after that happened, he just kind of went into like the closet. Not the closet, but he just kind of went into the shadows. Like he was still doing his thing, but it don't seem like he was out there as much as he was when he was younger.
Well, for a minute he spiraled, because I remember for a while after that he was in the news. Like he did a interview, he kind of went off because people even after he apologized with it, people were constantly bringing it back.
But once it kind of died down, you really ain't see him a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he wasn't out there as much as he was. Like, it seemed like he was just trying to chill.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I feel like Chris Brown
right now, I feel like Chris Brown really just be chilling, and they be really bullying him.
Yeah, okay.
They really bullying him.
Okay, so you're saying just as far as like getting in trouble.
Exactly.
Okay,
not as far as like music or anything like that, but just being in the spotlight and being into
like
a whole
he's trying to be on the right path.
Exactly. He's trying to stay off the radar. That's what it is.
I feel
like, it's been so much stuff that has happened to Chris Brown. I be like, damn, let that man live.
Like they was trying to get on him for that monkey.
No,
remember that?
I remember that just happened. The monkey not even just a monkey. They was talking about, remember the girl that came to his house? I don't even remember the whole story, but apparently, you remember it was filming live. It was filming live. It was filming live, and something happened with a young lady who said Chris Brown had did something to her, and it was helicopters everywhere. Pretty sure the FBI was outside.
I do remember a whole bunch of FBI and stuff getting called to his house.
He was on live, and he was on Instagram, and he was saying like, "I'm not coming outside. Y'all got me messed up." Yes. He was like, "I'm not coming outside."
I was like, "Y'all got me fucked up."
He was like, "I'm not coming outside."
Yeah,
they trying to get me.
Poor guy.
They even said he threw some guns and stuff out the window. Like it was.
They tried to call him a crackhead for some years too. Remember that?
It was. Listen, let Chris Brown live. Like, I'm sick of y'all. Chris Brown, I got your back.
Let him live.
I got your back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and what's even more, like, on a serious note, what's really messed up about this situation, especially in a time where we have Me Too going on.
Right.
And we have all of these men being kind of exposed with sexual harassment. It's really not something to play with.
It's not.
And it's like, it's a vulnerable time, because anytime you have a woman speak up about that, we're gonna
take that serious.
Yeah, we're gonna take it serious. So. And a lot of times people see headlines, they see stuff, they're not gonna do the research.
They're
gonna make assumptions. They're gonna make assumptions. So it's like, I just feel like shame on any woman, because there's too many women out here really dealing with some real life stuff, and it's like, anytime you do that to other people, it kind of is like diminishing to what real women are going through.
Right, exactly.
So that's not something to play with.
But you know what? Apply to you, Chris Brown, because he's suing her for defamation of character.
Yeah.
As you should, because it's so many women, it's so, not just women, but people out here, period, targeting celebrities and just trying to get money.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. Like, you out here trying to claim rape, and you did this and you did that. Like, it's so many different things that people are doing just trying to get money.
Yeah.
Like,
and we actually ran a poll. We ran a poll early on the beat, and we asked, it's funny because at least the people see through this. Like, you know, people see that he's been, you know, people have been coming for Chris Brown for a while, because we ran a poll, and it was like, do you think Chris Brown is guilty? And like 95% of y'all said no. So
he not. Leave that man alone.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything to anybody. He just out here trying to live his best life too.
Yeah. And after the whole situation unraveled, like within the same day, he got arrested. You know, he was released with no charges against him.
But you know what? This is exactly why celebrities can't be friendly to motherfuckers.
Y'all can't get a pass.
Excuse my language, but this is exactly why.
Yeah.
This is why it can't be friendly, because
so
you give them an
inch taken advantage
and they take a foot.
Yeah. Yeah,
seriously.
Man. It's scary. It's scary because it's like, especially with media, this is such a sensitive time that we're in. Like, anything can be taken out of context. Anything can be twisted and
Everything
manipulated.
is a trigger right now.
Everything is a trigger. So you really got to watch how you move. These people got to watch how they move. I understand why so many of these celebrities are going crazy.
Hey, that's another topic for real. But I mean, I think that just kind of leads us into stereotypes.
Yeah, especially when you think about the whole situation with how easy it is for women to hop on and say that. And, you know, it's just kind of crazy, yeah. Because men, it's like that situation is different. For a woman to hop in and say, like, okay, rape or something like that, you're automatically going to look at it. But for a man to say, like, oh, I got molested or all of that, it's not always taken as seriously.
It's not gonna be taken as serious. Just because, oh, you're a man and you got molested, like what? Like, it's really taken as a joke, and it's bigger because there's men out here getting molested too.
Yeah, even when we go back to the R. Kelly situation, not to give any excuses for that man, but it's like
he was saying that he was getting molested for a long time,
and we see where obviously that messed him up. It played a role. It played a role in the situation. So we are going to, first of all, we're going to talk about stereotypes. And before we get into it, I kind of like, sometimes you have the simplest of words, but we wanted to actually look at what is the actual definition of stereotypes. So we looked it up, and it's a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. So we just kind of wanted to talk about, like, what are stereotypes? Why do we do it? Like, why do we stereotype?
I think it's just human. It's a humane thing that we do, and I don't know where it comes from, but I feel like every single person in the world stereotype people.
Yeah, it comes from when you're young, because honestly, you listen and you're, especially like, you
listening
still have,
to your parents.
That's what I'm trying to, listening to your parents, and especially your grandparents, like the older generation.
It's just when they say little things, I can't, you know what, I'm not even going to go there, because I done heard some things when I was younger.
Yeah, old people get to a point where they don't care. They'll pretty much tell it how it is. And a lot of times, see, I'm about to say right now, older people are stuck in their ways. And that could be a stereotype right there.
Yeah, no, because, but you know what? Some of them are. Not all of them, but some of them really are stuck in their ways.
That's true. But it's natural. Naturally, we do grow up and we hear different stereotypes, and it just automatically is something that we kind of fix in our mind. And it's like when we see somebody, we're already going to kind of like, in our mind, have an idea almost of how that person is.
This is true.
Yeah.
I stereotype everybody, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Damn, dang near.
So you be looking at me, ooh, I bet she.
No, okay. Let me give you an example. Okay, so if I see somebody, and, I could just be walking down the street, walking in the grocery store or something, and I see a dude, like, ooh, he just look like he's just angry little soul.
Oh, yeah.
Turn around, hey, ma'am, how you doing? Can I get that for you? And I'd be like, God dog it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Low-key, because I feel like
easy, like right there, that's easy. It's an easy stereotype. We do it all the time.
And you don't think nothing about it.
Yeah,
even if you don't say it out loud, you might think it, and it's like you really don't think much of it.
You know what? I think what really gets you is when you stereotype somebody and your attitude adjusts to that stereotype.
Yeah, that's not right.
I think that's when it become a problem, because you can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know. I don't know that man. I don't know his story. I don't know. Until he opened his mouth and can I get that for you? And I'm like, dang, I just knew he was about to be rude.
And that's sometimes a lesson for you. Like when you think somebody's going to be a certain way, you're like, oh, okay, well, I was wrong about that.
I mean,
So what are some stereotypes? Like, I mean, I know I get stereotypes all the time. What are some stereotypes that you think people might have put on you before?
People think I'm ratchet.
People think you ratchet.
People be thinking I'm ratchet and all kind of stuff. And I'm just like,
are you ratchet?
No, not at all. I'm a classy.
You hear? Not at all.
I'm a classy young lady. Okay. I'm a classy young lady. Y'all got me messed up. Yes. I mean, I like to think of myself as clatchet.
Okay, I like that.
So I'm classy with a tad bit of ratchet.
Just a tad.
So I'm not all the way ratchet. Maybe like.
But you can turn up.
It's a 3% ratchet.
Okay, but you know when to use it and when not to.
I know when to turn it on and turn it off. You know?
Because I don't think ratchet is a bad thing. Like,
so you really defending this ratchet. So you must be good at ratchet. So I'm guessing you good at ratchet over here, huh?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm ratchet, but I feel like everybody can have their little ratchet moments, you know.
Like, you remember that song, She Ratchet?
She Ratchet. Everybody can have their
y'all.
little ratchet. You know, ratchet is fun sometimes. So it's like, you know, like,
everybody needs to have a little, you know, I was just telling somebody yesterday when I was working out, it's always good to have a little ratchet friend around.
Man,
like,
you're going to have a lot of fun.
Listen, you're not living if you don't have a ratchet friend.
That's a good point.
Like, you're not living. If you don't have a ratchet friend, you're not living.
That's a good point.
Sorry for you, sis.
Sorry.
Get you a ratchet friend, okay?
So you want to know, I'll tell you some of the stereotypes I get. So people look at me and they think I have dreads. Well, obviously they see I have dreads. They don't think that. They see I have dreads. And a lot of, probably a stereotype of mine is like, you know, oh, she's a pothead, or she's like a she's like a tree hugger or something, and I'm like,
a tree hugger?
Yes, I have literally had people asking me, "Are you a tree hugger?"
What do you mean? What is a tree hugger?
I honestly really don't know.
You know, when I heard that before, they was saying like hold on, who was that?
Or like a Rastafarian or something.
I think it was something else. It was like you a tree hugger, but it was a different definition. What they were saying, like you be climbing the trees, something I don't even remember.
No, they're trying to say like you're earthy, like you protect the animals, protect the earth. And I
know what? Somebody just called you earthy the other day.
I know. Tutu called me earthy.
What is earthy? What is earth? I don't even know.
He wouldn't tell us. Shoot, I don't know.
Listen, when I thought about earthy, I just thought about, okay, maybe he's saying hippie.
But then when you said hippie, he was like, no, I ain't saying she hippie. I don't know, man. But it's like people are quick to try to put labels on you. And I mean, sometimes there's like a little truth to it, because it's like, okay, I am a natural person. I care about the earth and that type of things. But it's like, that's not the only thing that defines me. You know, when I look at myself, that's just an aspect of me.
Let me give you a good example.
Give me one.
So when I go to a restaurant, people think because
she black.
Because then I'm not going to tip.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get the worst service ever, and sometimes I get really good service.
Yeah. But
my thing is, you don't know my life.
You don't.
And you messing with your own tip.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? Like, I'm a good tipper. I've been in the industry before, and I know how it is. Like, you make your money off of tips. And I feel like that's the worst. And you could tell that you're being stereotyped based on the attitude and how they treat you.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that if somebody come up to my table 5 minutes into me sitting down, that's a problem. First of all, I'm going to think to myself, I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
That's true.
And
because you've been in that position,
exactly,
like we both have.
They might have been in the weeds, so they might come up to me and say, I'm so sorry, I had some other stuff going on. What can I get for you? That's different. I'm like, okay, bet.
They just busy. They in the weeds.
Busy. So, but then it's those times where they come up, hey, what can I get y'all to drink?
Don't even say their name.
Can I get a name?
Yes, girl. I experienced that. Unfortunately, I have experienced that way too many times as well. Like, and it sucks. It's just like, okay, we know what good service looks like. So I think that's another thing that makes it worse, because we've both worked in the service industry. Right. So it's like, we know how this works. Like, you shouldn't, like, I had a situation recently where the lady, it took her 20 minutes to bring our table water.
Girl, I would have been gone. 20 minutes? Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes and I'm
she
gone.
Wasn't in the weeds.
First of all, 2-3 minutes feel like a long... When you sit down at a restaurant, first of all, you probably already been waiting.
Yeah.
So when you sit down, I expect somebody to come up to my table at least within the first 60 seconds to 3 minutes. Yeah. To come up to my table, at least say, hey, I'll be right back with you guys. I'm a little busy, but just give me a look. And then I'll feel, okay.
I totally respect that.
Yeah, exactly. I respect that. You came over here to let me know that you have other stuff going on, so I don't think that you're neglecting me.
Right.
You gave me a little attention. Yeah. You had to, and I'm gonna understand because I've been in that position.
Like,
but the fact that but the fact that you stereotype, I know it's just a stereotype.
Yeah.
Like, it's young. She's young. She's black. she's not gonna tip.
She's cheap. That's what they think. They're cheap.
Yeah.
They're gonna order off of this. They're gonna order something that's not of a lot of value. Not gonna add a lot to my tip. And really, like you said, that they're messing with their own money at that point. Because my thing is, even from working in that industry, sometimes you look at people and you might in your head, like, when you get a table, sometimes you look at them and you do kind of think I'm going to either get a good tip or not. But regardless, you treat people with the same service and the same respect, because you never know. And just because that's how you treat people. Like, you know what I mean?
And it's like sometimes those be the ones that give you the most money. The ones that you least expect. Be the ones that give you the most money. And even if I do look at a table and I stereotype it, I feel like that's anybody. That's every table,
because you're trying
every
to judge your money. You're thinking about it.
Okay, I'm about. Even if you're stereotyping, saying I'm about to get a good tip, it's still.
And those sometimes be the people that do not tip you good. Sometimes those people be the ones, and you give extremely great service because you think they gonna tip you good.
And you be so mad. Like, I just gave you all this good service. You gonna give me $2?
What the hell am I gonna do with $5?
No, you gonna give me $2?
Oh, hell no.
This is what you got?
Hell no. You can keep that. You can keep that.
Girl.
Keep that 2 cents. No. That's crazy. But that's unfortunate, because that is something I deal with, like, honestly, way more than I should. And even me, it's like, I'm still gonna tip you. Even if you give me bad service, like, I'm still gonna give you something.
I've even realized that when I go into stores and I'm, looking and trying to shop for something, people stereotype me at the store like I'm not gonna buy anything.
Oh, yeah.
So,
like, they don't even want to give you the time of day.
Exactly.
I know you're not gonna spend your money on this. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
Honey, you don't know how many coins I have in this pocket.
You don't know what's up in this bag.
Oh, that's how you feel?
That's how I feel.
You don't know how many coins in this pocket, so don't do. I be want to say, don't do me, boo. Period.
Take out some bands and be like, look.
No, I'm not gonna do all of that. Not gonna do all of that. But you don't know how many coins is in this pocket, so
no, that's true. You don't. You really. I don't know. To me, and it's just a way of how you treat people. Like, you just never know. And even like, being in the service industry, like when I was doing that, it was times where, some people, okay, I don't think you should go to a restaurant if you don't have the money to tip. That's a whole nother story, but like,
this is true though. I used to always say that, like, if you don't have the money to come over here and tip, just stay your broke ass.
Go to McDonald's.
Stay your broke ass at
home. Make a meal, do a picnic. But like, even in those situations, it's like you just treat people the best way you can.
Even still, sometimes, honestly, when I get people like that, sometimes that do not tip. Well, when I used to get people like that in my section that didn't tip, it depends on how they treated me. Because it's just like, I don't think that, dang, like, maybe they don't have the money to tip, but they just wanted to go out.
They might have just been having that type of night.
Just like, they just wanted
They might have just, they might have been splurging.
To go out and have a good time.
But if you splurge, you need to put enough in your splurge account to leave a tip. Okay? I'm just saying, we need to know that. But some people, I think now people are starting to learn that, like, and one thing is funny because people say, oh, they have that stereotype that younger people won't tip. But one thing I'm noticing is that so many young people at some point go through the service industry that it's like we kind of know. So if you're a young person and you're not tipping, it's kind of like, okay, shame on you because you actually know better.
So is it some truth to stereotype?
I think so.
So what's the truth?
Tell me the tea. I think so.
Tell me the tea tell me the truth to the tea.
Okay, to the tea.
Hold on, wait. Tea, tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth to the tea. Okay.
Tell me the truth to the tea.
Okay. Let's think. Is there some truth to stereotypes? Maybe like the stereotype, like we mentioned earlier, old people being stuck in their ways. Sometimes there's truth to that.
Sometimes.
We talked about a stereotype earlier. It's like you never know. There can be. It's like, what do we say? Sometimes you hear, like, other people might hear foreigners speaking in a different language, and you automatically
think they're talking about
that they talking about you, and it's like,
but they don't have.
That doesn't mean that they are. But I'm just saying, if I spoke another language, I'd probably go around talking shit.
You do?
Hell yeah.
You do? You wrong.
Because it's like, I wouldn't feel as bad because it's like, really.
Nobody understand what you're talking about.
You can't understand. Well, you probably run up on somebody
that's messed up. Yeah,
they probably turn around like, oh, you didn't think I spoke Bangladesh or whatever.
Oh, so you think my clothes too tight? Well, buy me some more then.
That might not even have been the right term, but yes. Then I would have felt bad, but it's like, I think there's some truth to stereotypes.
Don't let me be bilingual because, baby, I'm in everybody's conversation.
Yeah.
I'm ear hustling just to make sure you're not talking about me.
They talk about Asians can't drive, stuff like that. I mean, I think there's some truth to that, but that's not always the case. Like, I always, every time I'm kind of get my little moments of road rage and I get a little pissed off, I drive by.
I can't drive. I know. Yeah. I own up to it. Because I had a dude say, yeah, females can't drive. And I'm just like, well, you don't just have to say, first I got offended. And then I was like, you know what? I really can't drive.
Yeah.
You
have to be like, is there some truth to this?
I didn't even think about it like that. But the fact that he was just like, yeah, no, females can't drive. I was like, what you mean females can't drive?
Yeah.
And then after going back and forth with him for a little bit, I was like, you know what? I really can't drive. I'd have been in a couple accidents.
But that's not because I'm a female, though. That's just because I can't drive.
It's just because I can't drive.
Yeah.
I don't like to drive either. I never volunteer to drive. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's true. And even us as Black people, like, there's a lot of stereotypes that are put on us. But I think there are
everybody has stereotypes. Like white people.
Yeah, white people.
White people don't ever put seasoning in their food. Or is that a stereotype or is that real life? No, for real. This is a real question.
That is real life, bro. Let me tell you, because I do not eat meat, and I kid you not. Y'all know, I think, like, right now we have a lot more Black people in the community that are, like, vegan and, like, on that wave. But a lot of these recipes you find on the internet, they might be from a Caucasian. And, when you look at the seasoning part, it'll be like, add a dash of salt and a dash of pepper.
What is a dash? No.
But why are you only
I got the Pringles can. You better put some seasoning on that damn shit.
Then you pop it like that.
You better put some seasoning on that shit. You better complain.
But why are you just only using salt and pepper? Like, I don't think I ever made something where I'm just like, dash of salt, dash of pepper. We're good.
No. Listen, first of all, when I'm looking at a recipe, I just want to get the main ingredients. Yeah. And then the seasoning part, leave that up to me.
I got that.
Like this.
I got that. Turn it over, yeah.
A little bit more salt. So I don't know if that's a stereotype.
I think there's a little truth to that one. I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
but it's like it is. There are some truths in stereotypes, but that doesn't mean that you walk around judging people saying, "Oh, I'm not going to eat any white person's food because it doesn't have seasoning." Because I've had food from white people where it tastes good. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you just go into stuff.
They can't make my Kool-Aid.
Oh, they probably can't make your Kool-Aid.
Listen,
they probably can't make your Kool-Aid.
I don't even remember where I was. And we let my homeboy make the Kool-Aid. You got some measuring cups?
Oh, that's a red flag.
Do you have a measuring cup
for the Kool-Aid? That's a red flag,
sir. Just give it to me. Well, right here on the back of the package, just say this. You know what? Just go over there and have a seat.
Some things. Let's just get this off the bat. If you're making Kool-Aid, if you're making rice, if you're making grits, oatmeal. We don't need a measuring cup.
You don't need a measuring cup. You go based off of how much you think should go in there.
Yes, we should just be able to test those things. Like, you know what I mean?
Girl.
Well, even rice, I will say sometimes I do. I know the measurements of rice, but sometimes I want to get it right.
So what about Hispanics?
Okay, let's see. You know they say, like, Hispanic people, they have a lot of kids early. That could be one.
Or they just have a lot of kids.
Or they have a lot of kids. But even that is like, if you go back and look at the history behind it, a lot of Hispanic people, when you look at their tradition, they grew up in the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? And when you go back and look deeper into that religion, like, maybe not so much right now, but it used to be like, against their religion to use condoms.
Oh, wow.
So it's like you think of something like that and it's like, okay, you might be stereotype this group of people, but it's like when you actually look at the reasoning behind a group of people are the way they are, that's where you'll unfold and see, okay, it's more to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I do think that, with us being different races, with us being different genders, having differences in us, sometimes there are things that connect us and that kind of like, you know, keep us the same. It's like me going to like your family, like another black family or something. It's probably like I'll see similarities in the way your mama and my mama talk, or the way your aunties, you know, stuff like that.
You don't need to be in grown folks' business.
Oh, we all grew up hearing that.
You don't need to be in grown folks' business.
We all grew up hearing that.
Yeah.
Get out my mouth. Get out my mouth.
Hold on, wait. Listen, Mama,
I got that one a lot.
Listen, I already know. As soon as she hear this, you know.
Yep.
She give you that look.
That's just a look. And did you ever get the pop? Like the backhand pop? Oh, girl.
Girl, what she was popping you at?
Girl, my mama used to... I'm sorry, I'm having flashbacks. But when I used to... I'm sorry. When I used to get out of line...
It was just like a...
No,
you felt it?
Yeah, I felt it. Because when I used to get out of line, my mama used to, like, if I said something, like, out of attitude and kind of, like, you know, a little too much, she pop me in my
this
mouth.
Is totally off topic, but this is so funny. Hold on, wait.
Stop abusing your kids.
Wait, what about when you go, before you go into the store, don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing.
Don't ask for nothing.
Don't ask for nothing, because you ain't getting nothing.
Yep. And then you got little Johnny over there throwing a tantrum. And then his mom's like, calm down, Johnny.
Who is Johnny?
Calm down, Johnny.
Who is Johnny? Who is Johnny? Who is Johnny to you?
Johnny is you know, the
other kid that you seen?
Yeah, you
that
know,
was with their parent?
that was with their parent, and their parents not whooping their ass, or even not even. I don't necessarily want to say that you have to beat your kids, because that's, you know,
I hope they're not beating.
I hope you're not beating your kids, but I'm saying, like, even that, I think different cultures go about disciplining their kids differently.
Oh, most definitely.
So,
most definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are things that connect us, and
who is Johnny?
Johnny is...
You getting off topic. Who is Johnny? That's what I'm trying to think.
You know who little Johnny is.
No, I don't. Please tell the people who Johnny is.
Johnny is the little Caucasian kid inside the store throwing the tantrum and getting mad at his mom because mommy won't buy him his toy. You know what I mean?
Listen, and meanwhile, we just pushing the cart.
We know not to look.
I'm not even looking over there.
Because I'm going to just get my hopes up and get so disappointed. That ain't none of my business.
None of my business.
Because I ain't trying to get the pop, okay? I ain't trying to get the pop.
Girl, Lord, I'm glad those days are over, okay?
Yeah, I'm glad those days are over, too. Honestly, when it comes to stereotypes, like, it is funny. Like, even some of those things we just brought up, like, trust me, even, you know, with us, with women, their stereotypes, with men, their stereotypes, sometimes there is a little humor in it. But I think at the end of the day, you just can't go around judging people based off of a stereotype. You can't think that you're going to automatically know somebody.
That we can't say you can't judge anybody based... Well, no, you shouldn't judge anybody based off a stereotype. But there's no way to not stereotype people.
Right.
Period. Like, it's... Once you have it in you, I feel like that's one of those things that you just can't let go. Because even when you don't mean it, you still stereotype somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because it might even just be a thought that comes to your head.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's anything that you can control.
Right.
Like, you don't have to voice it, because I don't voice every stereotype that I base on somebody else.
Right.
But I still have that opinion.
Yeah.
I can think of something right now, but you know what? I'm not going to even
But everything you think doesn't even mean, nah, say it.
Nah,
say it.
I can't say this.
Okay, you made me spill it, so you need to spill it.
No, I'm just saying, like when you, no, I can't even, no, I'm not going to talk about it. It's bad. I'm not going to say it. It's not bad, but it's not appropriate. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
Okay, Bri, with the bad mind.
No, it's not. It's just certain things that you just start to think about, and you're just like, dang.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, it's about your actions, and it's about your morals and the way that you treat people. The thoughts can come in and out of your mind, but even as many times as I might in my head, like, it's not like I just go around like, oh, I'm judging this person, I'm stereotyping this person. But people are going to show you that, you know, you have moments where, like, say you're in the service industry, like we brought up, and you might look at that table and think, oh, man, I'm not going to get that much money.
I think
you do.
I think we have it the hardest.
We as in what?
Millennials.
Oh,
just because,
really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're one of the ones that have it the hardest just because I hear a lot, oh, they don't want to work. They think everything is given to them. They're lazy. Just, it's so many different, and it's just like they always place us in. That's one stereotype that's very vocalized.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very vocalized. And I hear it all the time. Like, when I'm out in the office doing stuff, and it's just like, I feel like I have to defend my people, because I'm a millennial.
My people.
I have to defend my people.
But yeah, no, I feel you. They do. Like, a lot of people think millennials are lazy.
No, for real. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, no, we out here. And it is kind of like sad, because it's like we out here busting our ass.
But it is just, I think the problem is Generation X. That was the generation before the millennials.
Like our parents.
Yeah, our parents. I feel like they had to work a little harder because they didn't have what we have.
Right.
We have access. We have a lot more access.
We have so much access.
We have a lot more access, and a lot of things are given to us.
Yeah.
So it's just like we have tools in front of us, and it's up to us if we want to use those tools.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, a lot of the Generation X think, oh, you guys have the tools, but it's just like you want us to build it for you too.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I get it, but it's just like, no, like even though we get the tools, like we're looking at it like, okay, how can I make these tools work for me? Mm-hmm. Like, that's how I look at it, because I bust my ass.
Oh, hell
bust my
yeah.
ass in anybody that I surround myself with. So that's why
even the people, we roll, like the people we roll with and stuff is out here getting it.
That's why I always defend millennials. Like, yes, no, every millennial is not the same, but it's a lot of us out here grinding. It's a lot of us out here trying to get it. You know, even though we're given certain things, it's up to you. It's up to us
on how we use it.
Yeah, it's up to us on how we utilize those tools.
That's true.
So don't put everybody in that one. That's one big stereotype that really just kills me when they say y'all. And it's not even a certain. They don't put a certain. I don't even know how to say it. Like, they don't just
group us all together.
They group us. They group us all together. It's not like one
it's
section.
The same people. People do it race or like age. All, I mean, like you said, millennials, people do the same thing. And that's what we're saying you shouldn't do with stereotypes. Right. You can't base an action off of one person and group a whole group of people and think they're that way based off of that.
Because you know what? Honestly, I think from our generation, it's a lot of entrepreneurs out here. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of self-made millionaires
and creatives. Seriously,
yes,
this is like the year of the not the year, but this is the time of creativity. This is the time of creativity, entrepreneurship, all of those things. And I think what it is, like, you're right. Our parents, they had to move and they had to do things a little differently. Also, some of them were
times change though.
Times change. And one thing about it is, like, we have got millennials, we've gotten conditioned to having so much information and stuff. So it's just
fast. And I think that's why they put us in that box, because it's like,
because our attention span.
It's just like you're handed so much stuff. And I didn't get it like that. I couldn't just go on the internet and pull something up. I had to pop in a cassette tape. Okay, well, time is changing. Technology is changing. Everything, like, stuff is moving, so we're going with our time.
Yeah, I get it, and I get it, and I get both, because one thing I do, I listen to older people, especially older people who I respect, and I understand some of those things.
I take it all into consideration.
I understand why they might say, because it's like sometimes you have millennials who it's like, okay, I'm in a job. I don't like how this job looks for me right now. I give it a little time. I give it 3 months. I give it 6 months. I feel like the progress is not moving as fast as I think it should move, just because, like I said, we've been conditioned. Everything changes so fast. Social media moves fast. Right. Music moves fast. The culture moves fast. Everything moves fast. So sometimes I think we have the misconception, younger people, that I'm going to go into this job, I'm going to do this, in 3 months it's going to look like this, in 6 months it's going to look like this, in a year it's going to look like this, and sometimes things don't move like that fast. So you have to kind of start at the bottom, or you have to, like, go through that rough phase.
I think it's that consistency. Like, I don't think it's the patience. And it is like, think that we are lazy or anything like that. I think because we are given so much, we expect stuff to happen just as fast as it's given to us.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how I feel like that's a way to kind of switch it up.
Yeah.
So it's not that we are lazy or this generation is lazy or anything like that. Like, we just expect certain things to happen on our time.
Right.
Which it shouldn't be like that.
Which it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be like that.
Honestly, 9 times out of 10, shit don't work out the way I envision it.
No,
it's like the roadmap twist and turn. But it's like, I think as much as I definitely agree that a lot of millennials are out here getting it and out here hustling.
Hello.
I do think that...
Shout out to my millennials that's hustling.
For real.
My entrepreneurs, okay?
For real. But I do think that, like with any stereotype, you know, there are some people that fall into the stereotype because it's like, and I think, you know, we just have so much thrown at us that sometimes it can get confusing. A lot of people out here, they have the... Inside, they thrive to do so many things, and they just don't know how to go about it.
Right.
And they don't know where to start. And they think, oh, I'm gonna try this. It doesn't look how I like. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Oh, I'm gonna try this. It doesn't look how I like. I'm gonna try something else. But we have to sometimes slow down and have patience.
Grasshopper.
Patience, grasshopper.
So even, you know what? Even moving into the entertainment industry, like moving into.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Moving into our industry. I feel like we get so many stereotypes when it comes to what we're doing and how we got there.
Oh yeah, especially women in the industry, because you know they might look at you and think, oh,
how did she get that job? What was you doing?
What were you doing?
Who you have to talk to? Who you have to sleep with? You know, it's just.
And I mean, sometimes that is the route people take, but that doesn't mean that everybody takes that route. Like, you can't just look at somebody and assume because they're beautiful.
Exactly.
Or because they're in a position at an early age or whatever that they, you know, went about it unethically, or that they, you know, was doing things like that to get to the top. So, like you said earlier, we talked about sometimes being around celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah. You know what? It's crazy because I've gotten that before. Just hearing, oh, what was you doing with such and such? And I'm just like, dang,
what the hell you think I was doing? Like,
hanging out, taking a picture, like.
Oh, and you know what else is a good one? Like, a lot of times people, when people start to make money, or when they start to get a lot of fame,
oh, they think you're gonna switch up.
They think, oh, they switched up. They forgot where they came from. And sometimes that is really harsh on those people, because it's like, you have to understand, when you start to move up and you start to make money, you start to acquire a level of fame, you have to move differently.
Oh my goodness. So I seen a post a while ago, and a young lady who, you know, doing her thing in the industry. And like a lot of people, she was on, you know, her Instagram live, and she was getting comments basically like, oh, you switched up, oh, you doing things differently, oh, now you only dating ballers, and she came out and made a great point, just basically what you said. She was like, I'm on a different level now. That's really what it is. And she was like, don't expect me to date Lil Ray Ray from around the corner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna date who's in my circle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Like, it's not, don't stereotype her for what she's doing and how you feel like she switched up. She, like you said, she's gonna move with her circle.
So I even think about Kodak Black, because that's a perfect thing to relate it to. In these last few years, he has been in and out of jail. And one thing we see that was consistent, when he would get out of jail, he would go right back to the hood. He would go right back messing with the same people.
But you know what?
And getting into you. It's like you can't roll the same way they roll.
Sometimes you don't want to switch up. Because people expect you to switch up, and then you want to make sure that you stay true to who you are, so you continue to do the same thing that you're doing. But who is that hurting, you or them?
Yeah, and I think he had to learn that the hard way.
Sometimes it's beneficial for you to move with your circle, move with your surroundings. Like, if you moved up, then you should sometimes you got to separate yourself from those people who are not on the same level as you.
Right.
Or at least get them on the same level as you.
Or elevate them, right. Or at least try your best to. And one thing about it, just because you're evolving and you're growing, it doesn't mean that you're changing the person that you are. Because if you're not growing, if you're not elevating, then you're constant. What are you doing? And it's like if people are in your life and they're mad about that, so be it. Sometimes you gotta let them people go.
You don't deserve to be in my circle if you want me to continue to do the same thing that I was doing in the past, and it was hurting me.
Right.
I feel like your friends should have your best interests.
They should have your best interests.
And sometimes they don't even really be your friends, because true colors start to show when you get on and they don't.
Yeah.
But as a friend, you should want to put your friend
always
on.
Want to support your friend.
Exactly, but you should want to put your friend on. But before you put your friend on, your friend start acting different.
Yeah,
then you gotta change some stuff up.
Yeah, and I think that happens when
that's
you,
why
when
you
grow.
have to change it up.
Yeah. You're right. It's like. Yeah, man, that's just life. You're gonna go through phases. You're gonna grow, and as you grow, you gotta move a little differently sometimes.
In every situation, every race, generation, it's stereotypes.
Yeah,
anywhere you go, everywhere you go, anywhere you move, it's always gonna be stereotypes.
Yeah, y'all. I remember when so I did study abroad when I was in college. And
girl, me too.
Yes, girl, okay, study abroad.
Where you go?
So I went to France.
I went to Costa Rica.
Yes, girl.
I was having a good old time over there. Okay.
The crazy thing is that taught me so much, because when I went over there, like I was in Paris and I didn't speak. I ain't speak a lick of French, okay? Like, oui.
Can you say something? Anything.
Oui.
That's all you got?
It's like one of those things, if you don't practice it, you don't really hold on.
No, ma'am. You can say.
I got by, okay? I got by. I was, I got by. That's all I'm saying. But I had a great experience.
I can't even.
But
no,
that's besides the
you
point.
Can't. No, it is besides the point. But you can't say nothing.
Oh.
Hey, how you doing?
Pardon. That's how they say, excuse me, pardon. There we go. So, moving on.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Anybody can say that. We learned Spanish in middle school.
Can I get a side of elote?
Girl, bye.
Some corn. Can I get a side
This is Texas. We all know what some damn elote is. Girl, bye. That don't count. That do not count.
Hold on.
But
Angos?
No, I don't.
I'm sorry, y'all. Angos is mushrooms.
Bree, that is besides the point. You are getting me off track. So, anyways,
I'm just saying.
When I was in France, that really taught me a lot, because a lot of those people looked out at, like, we were the foreigners. And when they realized that we were from America, we couldn't speak English, not everybody didn't stereotype us or treat us bad, but a lot of people isolated us. They would act like they couldn't understand us, or like
Wow.
Like, like here, if we go into a restaurant and I ask for, like, oh, can I use some napkins? Can I use a plastic fork or something like that? It's really not a big deal. Like, here, take 5. Out there, they would just look at you crazy. Like, it was almost like if I didn't speak in that language, they're going to, like,
basically,
they look at us like some of them would look at us like we're stupid, or we're stupid Americans. You know what
crazy.
I mean? So, and that really opened my perspective, because people do that in America too. People do that to immigrants in America, even though it's like America is a big ass melting pot. You can't treat nobody differently because they speak a different language.
It's funny that you
like
say that, because I was actually supposed to study. I was supposed to go to France for a class, but that's besides the point. When I went to Costa Rica and I stayed there, it was totally different. They looked at Americans and, like, black women in general, like we were queens. Like queens. I had people coming up to me. I had a man that came up to me and was like, hey, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
Like, real life. And then it was another guy, he was with his baby. And the baby was just so fascinated with my hair. Like, because I had braids.
That sounds like America, too.
He was just, like, looking at my hair, just, your skin is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can get used to this.
I'm moving to Costa Rica.
I like this. I can get used to this.
Costa Rica.
But it's just crazy and somebody actually told me, no, my teacher, we had like a traveling teacher who took us everywhere when we went on excursions and stuff. And she was like, they really look up to black people. They really look up to Americans. You know, they think you guys are so beautiful. They think you guys
sounds
have
like America too.
It's like they think you guys have a lot of money.
That sounds like
all
America
kinds
too.
of stuff. So it's just like they put us in a certain category as well. Like they like not even knowing us, like they stereotyped us as well. But it was like a good stereotype.
And that's kind of cool because it's like this whole time we've been kind of talking about negative stereotypes, but at the same time there are some positive stereotypes. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. I didn't even think about it like that.
They can't get enough of this little chocolate over here.
She's ready to go back to Costa Rica, and the way she's making it sound, I'm ready to go too.
I was thinking about going and getting my master's in Costa Rica because it's cheaper.
Because you can save a lot of money.
You can save a lot of money, and I'm getting treated like a queen.
Yeah, getting them grapes fed and getting the feet rubbed.
But I was too sick over there because they eat everything with dairy. So everything
that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, no, I had to let it go because my stomach. When I say my stomach was on another level,
because I'm gonna need the almond milk. You can't give me with that.
I thought they was gonna have to take me to the emergency room. Because I was sick every day.
Yeah, them bubble guts, girl. What? I know what you mean. Like,
I was sick.
Y'all know people are really not supposed to be eating dairy, so that's a whole nother conversation.
First of all, this is a little secret. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh.
So.
But you know, that's a stereotype. Well, that's not really a stereotype because a lot of black people are lactose intolerant. That's like a common thing.
My stomach was toe up, y'all.
But really, nobody's supposed to. That's besides the point. But, you know. Stay away from milk. Stay away from too much milk. How about that? But yeah, I think that's good. I think that you brought up a good point with having good stereotypes because there are good stereotypes and bad stereotypes. And just like that, even with that, you might assume somebody is, you know, we might look at rich people and think that, oh, they're better because they're rich or something. And they might be a snob or even that. It's like you really cannot judge anybody before you take a deeper look and get to know them at the end of the day.
Yes, this is true. Even though we still gonna stereotype people.
We still are. But you don't have to act on it. You don't treat people differently because of how they look or because of how they might come off. But you know, that's one thing that I can say. Even though I do stereotype, like I'm pretty sure you stereotype people, but you don't say it like everybody do. Yeah. I don't treat anybody any differently. Yeah. You know, and it don't even have to be a bad stereotype. Like sometimes it be some really good stereotypes. That's why I ain't want to tell y'all. It be some really good stereotypes, and it's just like I don't have to say anything. Yeah. There's just something. It's just it's a train of thought. Yeah, I feel
That's it.
And I appreciate all of the different people we have in the world because it is cool to see people like just exceed our expectations and show us. Like every time I have a moment like that, like, you know, I might be on the road and I'm getting pissed off because I'm in a rush and they driving slow as hell as we going up on the ramp trying to get on the freeway. And when I get up there, I go around, they ask, and I'm like, it's got to be an old lady or it's got to be somebody on the phone. And you look over there and you like, shoot, it was somebody, a black person, black girl look just like me. So you just never know.
It's funny that you say that because sometimes I don't ever say, oh, it's an old person. I'm like, who is this in front of, like, Mo, get out there. Then it's like when I get up to them, it's an old person. I'm like, oh.
You feel bad? I know. You feel bad.
Sorry.
Have you ever did that? Like, I'm sorry. I take it back.
How you doing? Have a good day.
I take it back. Yeah, because I think of, I get it because it's like, you know, especially really elderly people who are still driving, like, but you might need to just stick to the feeder because it's like if you're driving that slow, like I don't understand if you need to go at that pace, like stay in your lane. You don't need to be all the way over to the left.
People alone.
You don't need to be all the way over to the left if you going right at the speed limit. Okay, that lane is not for the speed limit. That is for like 10 miles over the speed limit and above. Girl. You don't need to be going 60. Even if it say 60, you don't need to be going 60 in the fast lane. 75? 70, 75 at least. Okay. Minimum.
I know you got a lot of tickets.
We got places to be. We ain't gonna talk about that. We sure ain't gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother conversation. But I feel like at the end of the day, like, we're in a time where a lot of people are sensitive about how things are perceived. And if you really take out the, if you don't take things so personal and you just sit back and take it for what it is, stereotypes can be funny. At the end of the day.
I think so.
They can. It's like we shouldn't be all that sensitive about it.
I try not to get offended because it's just like, if it's not true, then why are you getting upset?
There we go.
Bottom line, period. There you go, right there. There it is.
Yes.
There it is. If it's not true, why are you getting upset about it?
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it can be a little offensive.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
but you don't have to act on it. I'm just saying, like,
when stuff catch you off guard, though, it's just like, damn, like, tell me how you really feel.
Tell me how you really feel.
But then at the same time, it's just like, I'm gonna look at it differently. Like, let me take it for what it is.
Take it for what it is.
That's not true, because that's not true.
Yeah, and because I even think about it, like, even comedians, it's like, okay, comedy, you really shouldn't have to hold back when it comes to comedy. But even now, it's like you have these comedians like comedians like Kevin Hart, they're getting called out about all this stuff. It's like, dang, we can't just have a safe space to just be silly and have fun. Right. It's like, stereotypes don't have to be so serious. Like, at the end of the day, you don't have to turn it into like racism or sexism or like, I think that's when you're putting it into action and actually treating people differently. But,
that's why I say it's comedy for a reason.
There we go.
So if you're sensitive, leave your sensitive ass at home.
There we go.
Boom. Period.
Don't turn on the TV. Don't get on social media. Don't listen to this podcast. Don't listen to this show because you're too sensitive.
Hello.
At the end of the day. But, just treat people right, man. Regardless of how you walk up to people and think they might be, don't judge people and treat them that way. Treat people right. And
don't act on every stereotype.
There we go.
Because everybody is not the same.
Everybody's not the same.
Everybody is not the same. So lesson of the day, we are not going to act on every stereotype.
I mean, I can't tell you what I was thinking when I met you, Bri. If I would have treated you how the first thought came into my head.
It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's so funny. A lot of people, I'm not going to lie, like, a lot of people stereotype me just thinking that I'm mean and
really
all kind of stuff. But I mean, honestly, I've come to terms with it now, and it's just like when they get to know me, you can't stay away from me.
Yeah, and even I feel like when we first met, you could have easily judged me off of like, because we just had a crazy.
Yeah,
had a crazy from the first time we met. It was chaos.
It was just a crazy day.
It was chaos. And think about if you would have judged me and been like, "Nah, I don't want to work with her." Like, we would have never ended up here. You know what I mean?
And look at us now.
Look at us now.
But hold on, I want to know what you was thinking about me.
The first time I met you, shit, I was just thinking, damn, I hope she don't feel like I was really thinking so more what you think about me. Like, because it was some crazy stuff, man. We was trying to meet up and
we here now.
Just know we came a long way, man. We came a long way. Thank the good Lord for that.
Exactly. So, bottom line, moving forward, we're going to
treat everybody with respect.
All right.
Put some respect on my name.
Girl. Yes. I need you to get it. Okay, I'm done. I'm so done with you.
On that note, bye, y'all. I think we've had enough.
Before we end this, we're going to say everybody have a good weekend. It's Friday. Sure. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. And that's that.
That's
like, subscribe. What you be saying, Bri?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Boom.